Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 13, Episode 11. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show opens where it ended last week, which was with Pastor P not being that happy, okay? She's irritated with Kenya, then she's double irritated when she sees Kenya and Marlo come down the stairs together, all right? So, yeah, she just ain't in the mood. Pastor P, would you like to pray over the food?
No, I don't feel like praying.
So that means that Cynthia's going to go on and bless the food, give us a real generic quick one. And then they're all impressed with the quality of the food. They say that Latoya did a good job making the seafood boil. Now, they're talking, of course, about the night before. And at this point, I guess because it's been a week for us and we've been talking about it, I mean, I guess we didn't have a week to ponder on it. It's still just the next night there. But to me, I was just like, oh my God, are we still talking about this? Oh, this is about to be the next 10 weeks, you guys. But you know, Cynthia said that she feels like she's a voyeur. That's what she's found out about herself, that she likes to watch hot girls love on each other. Okay, she had to sit there and watch. All right, then she went on up to her room and handled her business. You know, Portia got a kick out of that. She was just like, are you saying you got turned on by us? You know, they toss around what they think about Bolo, whether or not they think that the thing is real. You know, Portia was just like, no, it's real. All right. And Kenya was like, of course she would know it's real because, you know, he had it deep inside her. You know, I was just like, Kenya, really? I mean, you know, it was cute the night, you know, the next morning when everybody was kind of teasing each other. You know, you just kind of be like ragging on your girls like, oh, yeah, girl, I know what you did. But, you know, if we got to keep it going at night, I'm just like, girl, why are you such a fucking pain in the pussy? Like, who cares? You know, somebody told me last week that they thought that I was being judgmental. I wasn't really being judgmental of Portia. She's single and she could do what she want to do. But the whole thing is, you up in this house, first of all, you know these cameras are around. You should have known at some point something was going to come out, you know. On top of that, Kenya is just waiting to be able to tell on somebody. I guess she underestimated Kenya and didn't think that Kenya would tell, but especially if it was Portia. Now, if it was Cynthia, I know Cynthia wouldn't do this, but I'm just using Cynthia as an example. If it was Cynthia, Kenya probably would have held her tongue. But, oh, my God, give her a reason to say something about Portia. So my whole thing was just like, girl, if you're going to move, if you're going to do your dirt when you ain't around people that could possibly blast you. Okay? I don't even think Portia really cares that much. And really nobody should because, I mean, like I said, she's single. And if that's her body, she want to fuck the man, fine. As long as they got condoms, that's my thing. Like, please be safe, okay? We can't just be careless and all that. But it's just like, girl, this whole thing with Kenya, you just gave her ammunition. Now, it might backfire on Kenya because Kenya's looking like a fucking spinster right now. It's just sort of like, girl, I mean, really? So, you know, while they're sitting there at the table, Latoya, you know, who was in the room with Bolo? Okay, Latoya asked if it was Drew in there. Drew was like, no, me throwing my name in, you know, in the mix. Don't even try to go there. Drew asked Kenya, you know, what about her legs? You know, she's so worried about everybody else, you know. Then Latoya got the nerve to jump on Kenya. It's just sort of like, now, what you mad about? Now, are you trying to expose somebody or are you trying to be mad at Kenya? Just like Kandi said.
One minute you jumping on Drew for enjoying Bolo, and then the next minute you jumping on Kenya for trying to tell on everybody. Which one is it? Girl, you not making no sense right now.
They were like, we was having a party. Like, why couldn't we just enjoy ourselves as we was having a party the way that we was having our party? Kenya was like, yeah, it was a party, but, you know, she didn't like the fact that she was hearing all these sounds. Now, of course, when we listening to Kenya tell these stories, and, you know, she just really sounds like she's just beating around the bush. Portia got that look on her face like, bitch, go on and say what the fuck it's gonna be. You know, Marlo, what if they was in there, you know, playing with themselves, you know, watching a porno? Like, I'm just saying, I watch pornos. Portia was just like, no, she gonna say what it is. She about to roll it out. Just give her a minute. It's just sort of like, quit saying you heard it come from this certain area. You already know it wasn't Kandi. Okay, I think that's already been established. What other room was over there but Portia? You know, so Portia just looking at her like, bitch, say what the fuck it's gonna be. And then Tanya was just like, you know, Kenya, I just think that it's been really a long time for you. Kenya was like, well, how do you know that? you're not in the bedroom with me. Like, well, you always talk about being separated from your husband and he's up in New York. I know that Tanya was trying to be loyal to her friend Portia. Portia definitely has Tanya's back. So Tanya felt like she had to return the favor. So Tanya was just like, all I know is I spent the night in this girl's room. Talking about Portia. Kandi was just like, oh my God, Tanya, why did you do that to yourself? Why did Tanya do that? I know what she was trying to do, but now you really have given yourself away, okay? That you at least was in that room. Like, I don't think that Tanya really fucked Bolo, but I think that her and Portia probably had some kitty clicking. So now Tanya was kind of the one who put herself in that. And now that Tanya's left the show, like she obviously didn't realize that they was going to use that, to the hilt. So Kenya's going on and on. She felt like it's coming from that side of the house. Portia.
Are you saying that it was me?
No, I'm not saying anybody, but you just insinuating. Kenya, just say it. I mean, if you want to just go on and blast somebody, go on and blast it. Tanya already did half the job for you, so just say, yeah, Portia and Tanya was in there getting busy with Bolo. Just say it. It just got way more serious than it needed to be. Kandi was sitting there and Portia finally got mad.
You know what? I'm about to leave. I'm ready to go home.
She don't feel like sitting there with this beating around the bush shit that Kenya's doing. Because Kenya had to give us the whole speech about she don't like the fact that they doing all this in the house while she's there. It wasn't they party for them to be doing all of this. She's there with her daughter. Well, you the one decided to bring your daughter. Now, don't let us get on that subject. And plus, like I told you guys last week, Brooklyn was not fucking with Kenya. Brooklyn was asleep. Okay, baby girl was knocked out in her room. So when Portia got up and left, Kandi was just like, didn't I say what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon? Okay? If you would have kept your ass in your room, in your bed, sleep, then you wouldn't even been hearing all these noises for it to get on your nerves. And that's what I said last week. I said she was so busy up and fucking down them stairs the whole damn night. That's why she was determined to find out who it was. Okay, so yeah, Kenya turned the trip into something that it didn't need to be. And let that be a lesson to the ladies out there that when you want to go on a girl's trip, you think you want to have a little extra fun, then don't invite the big mouth. When Portia goes in the house, she was just like,
can you think that she's making me look like a whore and everything? But you know what? You can't tear down what God has built up. Good luck, bitch.
Yeah, definitely Kenya looks like the stick in the mud. Now, we take it on back to Atlanta, and we got the girls, everybody's got to get with their significant other, or in Kandi's case, she got to talk to Don Juan. But, we got to just kind of let y'all know what happened. So first we got Drew. Drew is with Ralph. Remember, they moved in the house, so they got boxes and shit everywhere. It's a lot going on. She said she wanted to hurry up and get home to him because it was so much drama on the trip. Plus she was thinking about the house and trying to get it in order and everything. They done moved in their dream house, you guys, over 9,000 square feet. They bought it together. So yeah, they're happy there. Okay. Now, Ralph wasn't too happy with what Drew had to tell him. I mean, what could she do? I mean, he was going to see it on the show. So girl, you might as well go on and let him know now. I hope she actually told him right after it happened. Just, we was just doing this for the camera. But, she was just like, we was with Bolo. He had the big thing, At one point, I think he flipped me around and I was sort of doing like this. And he was like, you was doing what? Like, I was just kind of bent over, kind of popping it. And he was just like, yeah. He had this look on his face like, of course, she could always throw in his face the trip that he took to Tampa, didn't say where he was going, where he was staying, what hotel it was or anything. So, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, this was kind of the one that he owed her. And she definitely took advantage of that, used that like, yeah, this is, you did what you did. So I did what I did. That is still a point of contention in the relationship, that trip to Tampa, that he didn't say nothing. So, I mean, at least she did tell him what happened. We still don't know what happened in Florida. Then we see Cynthia. Cynthia Cynthia's all cute in her green dress. You know, she got her man #chill. He's there. And now she got to tell him about Bolo, you know. So she was just like, yeah, you know, Kandi gave me a bachelorette party. You know, it was on like Donkey Kong. We had a good time. You know, the stripper Bolo, he had a big thing. You know, we had to see if it was real. And, you know, Mike was just like, so what you talking about? What you mean it was real? She was like, you know, he had to come on, he had to just bring it out like bing, bing, you know, and he was just like what? You know, just kind of whipped it out and then put it back. He was like, he did that himself, right? And she said, oh yeah, no, we didn't touch him. You know, he did all that on his own. I have a feeling that she had already told #chill what had happened, you know, and again, we was doing this for the comfort of the TV, but he still had this look on his face. So he, you know, so he was just like, so let me see, so let me just see. He get the water bottle, he was just like, so he just came and he just brought it out and then he brought it on back. Yep, that's what he did, you know. And then he's teasing her and dancing her. Cynthia say she don't have to worry about the love department. You know, #chill handles his business for sure. You know, they don't have any problems with that. So Cynthia and #chill are fine. Then we got Kandi. She meets with Don Juan. She has to tell him that definitely the party was a lot.
So you know I had the bachelorette party for Cynthia, and I told the girls that we was going to the dungeon. So we had Bolo outside in the backyard, and you know he was all greased up. You know, he was all greased up. And you should have seen Portia. It was just like she was in heat or something.
Portia definitely was in heat.
He did a little dance or whatever, but then the girls was not ready for the night to be over. So you know how these girls are whenever they get around each other and they had something to drink, they get real touchy. Well, I don't want to blast nobody, but I mean, it was a whole lot. It was a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to say. Then the next morning, Kenya get up and she was saying that she heard sexual noises coming from the hallway. And I was like, it was in my room, you know, so she was saying it was coming from over there. And then I don't know why Tanya did this, but she told Kenya she was in there, and I was like, why did Tanya do that? I don't know why Tanya did that.
And you know, Don Juan was like, oh Lord, why did she say that?
Well, I just say this. Kenya wasn't lying about the noises.
So some shit did go down, but Kandi is gonna plead the fifth on who exactly did what. Okay, Don Juan is laughing and teasing with Kandi because, you know, he love a good piece of gossip just like this. That brings him to his part of this story. You know how, you know, he was the one that had to set up a lot of this shit. You know, that's Kandi's manager. I mean, he manages a lot of shit for Kandi, I should say. And so he was just like, yeah, he got a call at like 7:30 in the morning saying the car service was just leaving. You know, so he had kind of figured that some shit must have went down. He didn't leave until the next morning. He said, but wow, look at that. Oh, Portia, come on with the social justice OnlyFans. Kandi was just like, ah. Don Juan said, yeah, I guess Bolo knows Portia for real. Okay, talking about their IG pages. You know, a good little giggle about them two, only because them two are the ones that are in question right now. But like I said, it should not be this. It just should not be this. Kenya's doing a photo shoot for Outlook magazine. She said that, you know, they like the fact that she's a single mom, you know, taking care of business, Kenya more hair care, all of that. Okay, so she's a boss and they doing a spread on her. Fine. Okay. She has Latoya comes down there to visit. She said she had to put Latoya on ice because she had a problem with the way Latoya handled things at the on the trip. You know, the way she was coming at Kenya. So she had to just put her on ice and she ain't really talk to her. So Latoya comes, you know, with the peacemaking cake. And when Kenya gets a break from her photo shoot, they sit down and Latoya was just like, well, you know, I ain't talked to you or whatever. And Kenya said that she just had a problem with what Latoya did. The fact that she already told her that she was having issues, you know, having a hard time being a single mom, trying to make sure she does right for Brooklyn and all of that. She already shared that with Latoya and them. You know, the fact that Portia was trying to make her seem like she was such a bad, you know, mom or attacking her. And when they had went out the night before or the night of the party, I had already told you that. Then when we get to the party, you jump over on the other side and you over there making out and shit with Portia, and everybody knows that I have a crush on you, you know, and you over there doing that with the enemy. Like, I just feel like there was no loyalty there. And I was just like, did you really just say that you have a crush on this girl and you trying to have a serious conversation, Kenya? Now, what is it gonna be? I mean, if you gonna say you bi-curious, then go on and say that, like, you got a crush on her. What does that mean? Like, are you not fixing to be making out with this girl on a TV show? Like, that's not what you about to do. So I was just like, so Latoya was just like, oh my God, does Kenya Moore have a crush on me? Like, she was so flattered by that. Latoya was just like, okay, I'm so sorry. Kenya goes on to say that she had heard that there was a threesome, that it was Latoya and Tanya and Portia. And Latoya was like, first of all, I didn't never kiss Tanya. Okay. I had definitely kissed Portia. Yeah, we did all that. She was like, but then I got sick. I threw up and I ended up going back to my room. Okay. So there was no threesome, even though, there probably was some heavy petting and Tanya being on top of Latoya. Like, all that was going on. That conversation, I was just like, oh my God. So I guess Latoya should be apologizing for kissing and grinding and sucking on the enemy and not doing the same to Kenya. Like, is that what you wanted to? Because you weren't going to do that, Kenya. Now, you weren't going to lose your composure like that. And then, of course, she brings up Tanya saying that Tanya was in the room with Portia. She was like, basically Tanya did tell on herself, so now she know that they not just friends, that they friends. Well, you try to be friends with Latoya with your fucking crush. Now, Drew comes over to Portia's house because now Drew lives in the neighborhood. Well, I thought she lived in the neighborhood that Portia and Nene lives in. But when Portia says she's about 8 minutes away, I was like, she ain't in the same subdivision. I mean, unless that subdivision is huge, which it very could well be because there are some big subdivisions out here. But anyway, Drew stops by Portia's house. Portia always got some food, honey. She was like, you want a muffin? And you want to put some butter on it? I could zap it in the microwave for a few seconds. That's why she's so damn thick. Ooh, just as juicy. Anyways, Portia was just like, I love Drew. I love the way that she communicates. I love the way that she just be calling bitches out and she checks people. These two are going to form some sort of alliance, it looks like, So how are you, since the party? That's what Drew asked Portia. Girl, I needed you on this trip. I needed my fun girls on this trip. We didn't need no bitches that's going to be sitting up there being aunties. So they were saying, yeah, they irritated with Kenya because, she turned this fun girls trip into something else. Drew said that she was trying to, use innuendo to say that it was Portia in there. And Portia was just like, no, she wasn't using it as innuendo. She was being like a punk bitch. Because she would never say, well, Portia, I know it was you. I just don't know who else it was. Kenya kept going on and on about it being down the hall and not in that way, but, over here and just never saying, So while Drew was there, Ralph calls, hey, babe, are you still at the store? She was just like, no, I'm not at the store anymore. And he was just like, oh, well, where are you now? She was just like, I'm on my way back there. I had to make a stop. Is everything okay? I said, look, that's how you reroute them. You ask them a question. Get them off of that damn asking you 15,000 questions. He was just like, yeah. She was like, okay, baby, well, I'm on my way there. I'll be there in a few minutes. That's what happened when you be telling your husband you on your way home, y'all got somewhere to go, and you be like, I'm on my way, then you stop at a whole nother fucking store and get caught up in the dressing room trying on shit, and then they be calling, you be like, I'm on the freeway, I'm almost... Child. She was like, honey, I'm over here with Portia having me a mimosa and some muffins, okay? So Ralph calling brings her to the subject of Ralph and, the fact that she still ain't quite got past the whole situation with Tampa. She did have to tell him about what happened on this trip, but, she kind of feels like it's sort of like a, a this for that kind of thing. What about you and the super? Me and Dennis, we love each other, but I'm just more concentrating on being a mother for PJ. But she was just like, how it is when you break up with somebody because they cheated, then you just always want to keep them in the doghouse. You can't really never get past it. Like, I don't know why the super and Portia are really trying to force this relationship. Like, I mean, he's cool. Like, he done did what he did and, whatever. But I feel like it never was really ever anything with a foundation because they just you know, she kind of met him on a whim. You know, they just kind of started messing around and then she got pregnant. So it's just like, girl, you ain't got to keep forcing it. I mean, I understand you want to have a family for PJ and everything, but you know what? Sometimes if it don't fit, don't force it, honey. But whatever. She gonna figure it out, y'all. Ralph calls again and Drew was like, child, let me get on up out of here. Okay, girl, let me let you go. Okay, your man keep calling. Now, let's just jump over to Kenya and going to go see her lawyer, Mr. Antavius Weems. So she goes in there, sits down with her. He asks her how she's doing, and she says she's doing a lot better than the last time she saw him. I was like, is that the same lawyer? He didn't even look the same. Like, he looked a little fluffier. She said that she had been talking to Mark, and I guess they're ready to move on with this custody case. I still don't really understand why they're doing a custody case and not necessarily a divorce case. Like, you're going to stay married, but I'm going to always make sure that I have the child. And I don't understand. It seems like it would go hand in hand with a divorce case, you know, but I guess they are legally separated. Like, I don't really understand what this move is. So she's telling the lawyer how she wants to make sure she get this paperwork going right away, the custody, you know, her trying to get you know, Brookie the whole time or whatever. And then she said that, you know, after they hadn't talked the last time, you know, after they got off the phone, he started sending her all these love songs. And, you know, he was saying like these songs remind him of her. And, you know, he just wants his family kind of, you know, he's having some sort of emotional moment, you know, thinking about her and the baby or whatever. And the lawyer was like, oh, really? Because this came last night. And it was Mark had to file for divorce up in New York. And she was like, what? He filed for divorce? Well, I mean, I guess he changes his mind quite quickly. She's looking over the paperwork and she was just like, I know he is not. Wait a minute, is he asking for alimony? Yes, he is asking for alimony. And she was just like, oh, he done told the whole world that he don't want my money and everything, but yet and still he's sitting up here asking for my money. I know he ain't trying to get my money. She was just like, you know what? I have been holding out on hope that, you know, we would be able to work it out. But, you know, kind of him now doing this is like him telling me go fuck myself, you know, so I'm not going to be nice anymore. And I was just like, I don't know why you've been nice at all, because Mark ain't been nice. Of course, we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but he got you going for a loop back and forth and crazy and not knowing what his next move is going to be. So, girl, I mean, you better start looking out for yourself and your baby. She sees on the paperwork that he's not even asking for custody. He said, let the judge decide that. So he ain't really even trying to fight for Brooklyn, you know, and I guess I was just like, oh, get a divorce from this man. You get your custody of your child, because the lawyer already said custody ain't gonna be a problem. Okay. He filed up there in New York, and evidently he ain't supposed to be filing in New York. He's supposed to be filing in Atlanta. And so, you know, he got to dismiss this case. That was just for show, evidently. And he was like, so he got to dismiss it. And if he don't, then we gonna file for divorce down here, and we gonna make them, you know, him pay the lawyer fees and everything. So he can keep playing if you want to. But like I said, it's just sort of like, Kenya, girl, I mean, you tried. You did what you needed to do. It ain't working. Okay. You didn't met your match on Mark. you didn't know they made him quite like you, did you? And now you done got the same you in the male form. So, you know, I'm just like, girl, just get the divorce. Get your baby. Get on. All right, you guys, I got to get back to work. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.